All right, for all of you out there with that big idea, that itch to build something new, this one's for you. Today, we're diving into the single most important tool you'll ever have on your entrepreneurial journey. And nope, it's not about funding or a perfect business plan, it's all about your mindset. So, you're thinking about taking the leap, huh? That's awesome, seriously. It's a path that's just brimming with potential, excitement, and the chance to create something that is truly yours. But before you dive in head first, let's talk about getting you ready for the road ahead. Here's how we're gonna break it down today. First, we'll get you to the starting line. Then we're gonna get real about the obstacles you should expect. After that, we'll get into the good stuff, forging your mindset. And finally, we'll put it all together and show you how to use that mindset to overcome, well, anything. Sound good? Let's go. Okay, first up, the starting line. You know, every epic journey really begins with preparation. For an entrepreneur, that means building your mental armor and resilience long before you even think about making your first sale. Moving on to part two, expecting the obstacles. Now, let's just get one thing straight. The challenges you're gonna face, they aren't a possibility, they are an absolute guarantee. So the goal isn't to somehow magically avoid them, but to be ready to meet them head on. Let's talk about the dream versus the reality, because this is a big one. We often dream about the freedom from things, a boss, a 9-to-5 commute, but the reality of entrepreneurship is actually freedom to do things, like taking on the ultimate responsibility or solving brand new problems every single day. It's an incredible trade-off, but you gotta know it's built on a foundation of some seriously hard work. And here are some of those guaranteed challenges we mentioned. We're talking about navigating through a thick fog of uncertainty with no map. You will face setbacks, and you have to learn to see them not as failures, but as, well, expensive lessons on what not to do. And you'll have to do all of this while juggling tight resources and some pretty intense pressure. Just knowing this is the name of the game gives you a huge advantage right out of the gate. So, the big question is, how in the world do you deal with all of that? Well, that brings us to section 3, forging your mindset. This right here is your superpower. It's the one thing that separates the people who succeed from the ones who just stop short. So what exactly is this mindset? Well, at its core, it's a way of looking at the world. It's a perspective that is resilient and always focused on growth. The key here, the absolute game changer, is that you stop seeing challenges as walls. Instead, a challenge becomes a puzzle. A setback isn't a final judgment on you, it's just feedback. This simple shift turns the entire journey into one big learning opportunity, where you get stronger with every single step. And this is so important. You're not just born with this, you build it piece by piece every day. You start to embrace challenges, maybe even seek them out. You learn to persist when it gets tough. You actively go looking for feedback. Instead of just saying, any feedback? Try asking, what's one thing I could be doing 10% better? And you start to truly believe that effort, that consistent grind, is the real path to getting great at something, not some magical talent. All right, our final section, the path to overcoming. Now that we know what the mindset is and how to build it, let's talk about how to use it, how to actively turn those giant obstacles into the very stepping stones that lead you to success. Man, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The external thing, the difficulty, it is what it is. It doesn't change. What you can change is your internal response, your attitude. When you train your brain to automatically search for the opportunity hidden inside every problem, you are fundamentally changing the game you're playing. Look, if you take only one thing away today, please let it be this. Your mindset isn't some fixed trait you either have or you don't. Think of it like a muscle. It's a practical tool that you can strengthen and sharpen every single day through practice. It is 100% within your control. So here it is, a simple little framework for any obstacle that gets in your way. First, apply that growth mindset. Ask yourself, okay, what can this teach me? Second, actually learn the lesson. A great little habit is to keep a setback journal and just write down one thing you learned from every challenge. And third, use that new lesson to refocus on your big vision. That vision is the fuel that will pull you through anything. The path of an entrepreneur, look, it's a tough one, no doubt about it. But it is also one of the most rewarding things you will ever do. The challenges are absolutely guaranteed, but you know what? So is your ability to grow, to learn, and to overcome them. Your journey is right there, waiting for you. So the only question left is, are you ready to build the mindset you need to conquer it?